Hey, shoot.
Hello.
I always forget.
What? Did you fade the music that time?
No, just the backgrounds and stuff. I don't know. It wipes them out. Like all of a sudden, I go back, and then we come back, and they're not there. All of a sudden, like I got to set it back up every week. But then we were talking for 5 minutes or whatever. Like I didn't even notice it wasn't there.
Oh my gosh! Guess what I'm doing tonight?
Guess what you're doing?
Yeah, tonight.
Carving pumpkins.
Nope.
Going
to Harry Styles.
Oh, Harry Styles downtown, huh?
United Center.
Yeah.
Last minute, Hattie called me and she's like, "Mom, let's go. I'll come home." Her friend was coming home, driving home from school this weekend, and she's like, "Last minute, let's go." I was like, "All right, I'll see if I can get tickets." And we can't. They're not cheap, that's for sure. But it's like, how often is my daughter going to ask me to go to a concert with her? You know, I have to step up. So yeah. I'm excited. I know it'll be fun.
I think he played last night too, right?
She was telling me he's doing this whole thing now where he's not just doing like 2 nights. He's doing like a whole chunk of nights. Like he's been here for 2 weeks in Chicago.
I gotcha.
So he's doing like blocks of time, which is nice because then more people get to see him.
Yeah. Well, we were in the city last night for my wife's work event, and she said, "Hey, there's a Bears game, and Harry Styles is in town." I'm like, "Oh God, it's going to be."
Whoa! There's a Bears game last night.
Thursday, yeah, they played Thursday night. They lost. Yeah, they lost Thursday night football.
I did not know that they played Thursdays too. Shoot, I haven't been watching those. I've been watching on Sunday.
Yeah, so my wife works right in the heart of the city, and I had to pick her up. And then the party was at the old post office. That place is awesome.
I love driving under it. It's so cool.
Yeah, you've ever been in it?
No, what's it like?
Yeah. It is unbelievable. It is so cool. Yeah, it is beautiful, super modern, and they have it all tricked out, man. Everything is like, I don't know, there's like a bar in there and a coffee barista and shops and whatever. There's office space and whatever, but her company had done, so it was their 20th anniversary. And just a little backstory. My wife had worked for a different company, and a few people from that company kind of branched out and started their own company, and they brought her with a handful of people.
Sorry, yeah.
So she kind of helped start the company when they were just getting out. And then she moved on. My son was born, she left, and she jumped a couple other different companies, and now it's kind of come full circle where they hired her back, now 18, I know she's been there for a few years now, probably 17 years later, they hired her back. And she's been there, but she's considered one of the originals, so
she's the OG.
Yeah, so she still has friends that still work there. But it was their 20. Now they have they're in the high rise in the building. They have 2 different things, in 2 different buildings now. Now they've acquired companies out of state. So yeah, it's gotten really big. And in this place in the post office, they had their hand in doing some of the work there. So they had this cool, super open and awesome bank. It's not really a room.
Like an event space?
Yeah, like event space. Yeah, but they had bocce, they had pool table, they had chessboards, they had a bunch of stuff. But then they hired a DJ, they had karaoke, or karaoke, whatever it's called, open bar. They had a ton of food, and whenever we go to those events, it's always just like, all right, she's like, oh, they're having a taco bar. I'm like, great, it's going to be a rice and salsa, dinner. Not only did they have hors d'oeuvres for us, they had these really good. It was like a chip with butternut squash and spinach and some other things it wasn't like a Tostito chip or whatever, but like a corn, I don't know, little round, with this
corn chip, yeah.
And then they had these buffalo cauliflower with some other sauce on it that was vegan, which was really good. So I'm like, oh, awesome. At least they had the hors d'oeuvres. So I was trying to not fill up. I'm going to have a couple of these and a couple of those. But yeah, they had a huge taco bar. So they had, corn and flour tortillas. They had meat and chicken, beef and chicken. But then they had rice and beans. They had a lime crema, a vegan lime crema.
Ours? Oh my gosh.
All the salsa and fresh vegetables. And so it was really good. Like Shan said, hey, the girl that works in HR just asked us if we had any food allergies or, considerations. And she said, I just, told her, but yeah, there were some gluten-free people that had gluten-free stuff. So yeah, she put together this whole thing so everyone could have some stuff to eat. So
That's so
it's very small. Like
nice.
it's very thoughtful. Because usually, yeah, we're scrambling a bit for food.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
kidding.
great 5 hour party, 5 to 10, 5 hour party.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're getting tacos tomorrow night too.
We're getting them tonight. We're going to Halloween party. They're
No,
having
tacos.
taco bar as well. In fact, Jessica,
God.
my boss, was just texting me saying like, "Hey, I don't have. I'm looking at your crumble recipe. I don't have coconut aminos. What can I sub
She's
out?"
making the crumbles for you?
Yep.
Wow.
Her daughter eats plant-based, or I think more vegetarian, but she's moving towards veganism. So
That's so nice.
yeah, I'd given her some recipes to to try out.
I'm not cooking tomorrow night. Frank hired Inez to do the tacos. So we're gonna have seitan tacos and guacamole and salsa. You're giving 3 nights of tacos.
That's all right.
I love tacos. I could eat 3 nights of tacos. And if I have time, I'm gonna do a big vat of creamy refried beans because I love them so much. Yeah, make it easy. I mean, I've been cleaning and getting ready for the party, so we're having a birthday party tomorrow night at my house.
For who?
For me! Typically, I don't have birthday parties, but Frank's brother is turning 60 the day after my birthday. My actual birthday is tomorrow, so the party's on my birthday. And so his sister Karen was going to have a party for both of us tomorrow night. And so it was going to be, I think, sort of a surprise. I don't know. And
that's what we were told.
Todd,
what a surprise party. Everyone seems to know about it.
Even you. But it was mostly for Steve because that's a big birthday. Mine's just a little birthday. And so, just since it is my birthday. But then she told him about it to make sure he was okay with it. And he didn't want it. He was like, I don't want to have that. Like, some people just don't like being the center of attention. So Frank's like, what do you want to do? I already hired Todd. I hired Inez. And I was like, well, let's have a party for me. I don't typically like being the center of attention, or I typically don't have birthday parties for myself. But why not? I don't care. It's fun. It's a reason to have a party. We haven't had a party in our new house. We didn't have our wedding party. So this is our party.
Frank missed your last one.
He sure did. That big speech he was going to deliver.
That was a great party. He missed a great party. That was a great party.
That was a fun one. My 50th. He doesn't drink much, and someone had a few too many.
Make it up for it that night.
Yeah, I think his tolerance is low. He had a few too many, and he wound up. I found him passed out in my bed upstairs. I was like, the party's in full swing. You were going to give a speech. He was like pulling the covers over his head. Okay. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Anything goes.
But anyway, Todd's going to be here with his guitar, which will be fun. He does covers, so he has his whole list. So I hope that everybody sings, and it should be fun. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Our 3-night party trifecta.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then my big night tonight. Ooh, I got to get to bed early after that. And then we have all day tomorrow. That'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
That's our weekend. We'll do a live stream from the party. The wedding.
That sounds like a good idea. Well, let's get to the chow here.
Wait, did you say you had another party tonight? Who's the party?
My boss is having a Halloween party.
Oh, Halloween. Oh my gosh. Do you have a costume?
No, so my wife got just handed a massive project on like Monday. We're going to go this week. It's like, we'll just run over and, look at costumes at these pop-up spirit Halloween places or whatever.
Yeah.
And we get one here every year. And, she got slammed with work, and she's been working till like, 2, 3 in the morning and getting up at 7 and start work. I mean, it's been crazy schedule. It was due yesterday. So it was a massive project. I'm like, well, let's run over like right at dinner time on Wednesday, because Thursday we got the party. Friday's the actual party.
Yeah.
So we go over there and they didn't even open a Spirit Halloween in that same location that they do every year. The first time in 5 years they didn't open that place. So I'm like, all right, forget it. Like we didn't, she had to get home and start working again. So it's like we have a half-hour gap. Let's just run over and find something. So I'm like, forget it.
Whoa.
I don't know
I
what
wish
we're
you
gonna
had
do.
that picture of that one costume you had that one year where, what was it again? It looked like you were carrying a person or your head was off or what was it? It was so cool.
Yeah, it was like somebody carrying half of me. So I was like the
That's what
guy
it was.
with the entrails hanging out.
Oh my God. Do you
The
have
guy
a
was
picture of that? I have one somewhere. Who knows?
Yeah, I have
That
it
was
somewhere.
so good.
It was, and I made that costume. I went to what's it called? Goodwill. Just
How did
bought
you
all
know
the
how
stuff.
to do that? That was so
Well, I
good.
saw a lot of people making those types of costumes, or I've seen costumes like that. I didn't really see how they made it. I just, I understood the concept of it. I just had it, whatever. Like I rigged it up with like a backpack and built it off of a backpack so I could wear it.
Oh
And,
yeah, it looked like
you know,
yeah.
yeah. So
Wow, it was so good.
yeah, I'll look for it. I know I have it somewhere.
So you're not doing homemade or you're not doing costumes at all?
Well, I don't know. I do have so I went to her party last year, and I just bought a mask. Like I ran over to that Spirit Halloween and bought like a $20. It was like a devil's mask, and then I just spray painted my beard red, and I wore like a red shirt and whatever.
Oh, that's right. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just like the devil. I don't know. It was just something, but it was cheap and easy. So it's like, all right, at least I had a costume on.
Here's my costume. Wait, I remembered it was right here.
Yeah, there you go. See, easy.
Well, I like to put something on for the kids.
Yeah. Oh, you mean here it is. I got it right
Just
here.
for answering the door. We're not going to a Halloween party.
I don't know if you can see it or not.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's hard to
Okay.
see with the glare.
So it looks like he's holding himself with no legs because that's his face.
There's like a monster holding me.
That's cool. Oh yeah, I didn't see the monster. That was freaky when I first saw it. I was like, where are your legs?
Yeah, it was cool. I was walking around the neighborhood. We didn't even go anywhere. I was just walking around the neighborhood or whatever. We took the kids trick or treating or whatever. But yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was like, oh my God, it looks weird.
You could whip that up for tonight.
Oh yeah. Whip it up. Took like a week to figuring that thing out, man.
All right. We got to make this a little bit quick because I have to go pick up my daughter. Not from school, from a drop-off place, her friend's house.
Curry noodle?
Yeah, so we were doing this Asian soup, this curry noodle soup, and we thought, all right, let's just do an Asian theme this week. So everybody loves Asian. Whenever we throw out, when you do those posts on our Facebook group, people always ask for Asian. They want more Asian. Asian, everybody loves it. So anyway, this is curry flavored. So if you like any curry dishes, this soup has curry powder in it. So it has coconut milk and curry powder and just all those Asian flavors. Really good, like ginger, garlic. And it's really, really easy to make. I mean, all you have to do, we like the pad thai brown rice noodles. So you cook those first. We've done this before in other recipes. You just cook them first, 7 minutes, they're done. Let them sit in your colander, just like rinse them in cool water and let them sit there and then make the soup. Pretty much just make everything in the pot, let it simmer. And then at the very end, throw the noodles in. And so what I just want to say, I said it in the meal prep, don't throw your noodles in. If you want to make this early, don't throw your noodles in and let it sit there because they soak up every drop of soup. I mean, literally, I've made it a couple times. And it's gone. The time I let it sit. What?
It'll turn into like a brick of soup. Like it's
yeah.
just like slice it almost.
And Frank loves that. He's just like, oh my God, the noodles are so good. Yeah, but it's not soup anymore. Right. It's like curry noodles, which is also really delicious.
Yeah.
So it will be good, but it won't be soup, just so you know that.
So typically what I do is I just make the noodles, I drain them, and then we just load them into the bowl, by the scoop rather than just throwing them all into the pot. But yeah, when we have leftovers, we load it all into like a container, and then in the morning it just fills the container with noodles.
Yeah, I always keep them separate too. And so I have my noodles on the side for the morning because I do like to have the soup, but make sure you keep those separate. And then the other thing is these are snow peas. It gets confusing because when we were little, we always had like whatever it was, chicken almond with pea pods. Everything was with pea pods. Well, pea pods are those flat ones, which are snow peas. They're not snap peas. There's a difference because snap peas are like rounder, and then the skin, what do you call it? Like the pod is thicker, so it snaps. It's like a.
And they're they're big. Like these typically aren't, the peas aren't very big. They're pretty small.
So these are snow peas. So you'll see them snow peas, and they're not nothing fancy. They're in the produce section. I found them already packaged in like 8-ounce, I think. Yeah.
That's how
I love these snow peas, pea pods. I call them pea pods. I just love them. They're so good. And we have them in 2 dishes because they're so good. And if you want to make both, just buy a bunch of snow peas. I wrote in the meal prep, they call them snow peas because they're so hardy that they even grow in the snow, which is interesting. Yeah. So get the snow peas, and we use shiitake mushrooms. The shiitake mushrooms are just so good in Asian cooking. I always use them. I love cremini mushrooms, so I use those in like pasta sauces or on my pizza. I buy those all the time at the farmer's market. But for Asian dishes, shiitake had such a great flavor. So if you can find them, get those. If not, you can use any old mushroom or leave them out, obviously. But it's so easy. You can make it all in 30 minutes. And it's done. It's just one of those soups that doesn't really need a lot of time because that broth is so flavorful.
And things like this, I always, if you have other stuff, you can always add things like you could throw some tofu in there. You can add, like jalapeno rings, like, I like the diversity of this type of dish where you can add more stuff if you like.
Right. I forgot. I'm looking at the recipe. There is bok choy in there, the white part and the green part. It cooks right in the soup. You simmer it and let all the veggies cook. And then, like Asian dishes, the nice part about it, there's so many different textures going on. So you throw in the green onions and the cilantro later at the end. You throw the cilantro on top, like a squirt of lime at the end. It's all those nice crunchy flavors at the end that are nice. And that's how Asian dishes are made, which I love that multiple texture, There's a jalapeno in there too. It just gives it a little bit of heat. I took out the seeds, but if you want the seeds, it'll just be a little bit more spicy. So that's good. I hope everybody enjoys another soup. I want to see it if anybody makes it. Somebody commented, I think. Did somebody comment? Oh, somebody commented on the post. Oh, yay. Okay, we got a couple of comments on our post. Mary said, wow, those look delish. Thank you. Kim said, wow, these sound so good. Thank you. Leslie Ann said, these all look wonderful. Yay! I can't wait to hear about them. Okay, well, there are the snow peas again. And so this dish I just thought about because I always loved when we got, whatever the pea pods were mixed with. I think Mom always got like pea pods and beef or pea pods and chicken. For some reason, I had that almond in my memory. Chicken almond something.
Ding.
Chicken almond ding. That was it.
Does that have pea pods? I don't know. That's the only chicken almond I know of is the ding.
Almond ding. So basically, this is just a bunch of shiitake mushrooms, a bunch of pea pods, and a teriyaki sauce that's really good. It's sweet and savory, and it's kind of all the same stuff. We always use the same stuff. Mushroom broth, tamari, maple syrup, brown rice vinegar, or you could use regular rice vinegar, unsweetened, unseasoned. Garlic, ginger, sesame seeds. We have a little arrowroot powder in there just to thicken it. We've used that a lot. A red chili. That's it. So you could make the teriyaki sauce ahead of time. You don't have to. It's really easy. But if you do, just put it in the fridge. Don't cook it or anything. And then it all comes together so easily. Another one of those quick meals. And you can count on it being delicious.
You take that to the bank.
It's not just any old internet recipe. We make it over and over and over. Yeah, and just I like it over brown rice. You could even make noodles and have it over noodles.
Noodles.
Yeah, make it your own. But there's not a ton of sauce. It's one of those dishes where you can kind of see there's not a lot of sauce, so it's not real soupy. But it's still nice with the rice. There's plenty of sauce with rice, so I'm sure there's enough for noodles.
Yeah, sometimes I don't like a lot of sauce. Sometimes I mean, in some dishes I do, just that I like the saucy rice or the saucy noodles. But sometimes it's just like I don't know. It doesn't. I don't always need a ton of sauce. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. It's kind of nice just with the rice. And I like that. I use frozen brown rice. I mean, I don't make my rice from scratch often because I just like it frozen. It's nice. It's just, it's not like subpar, you know. I think it's just quick and easy. And I'm doing all this other cooking all the time anyway. So I just use frozen brown rice. Works perfectly for this.
And yeah, we usually make a big pot of rice and then just freeze, let it cool and put it in a Ziploc bag and flatten it out. Same thing. And then just break it up after it's frozen. And
you are so good at that.
Heat it up that way.
That's awesome.
Well, then when we're in a pinch, then that happens. It's like, oh, I don't want to, whatever. And even with the Instant Pot, it doesn't take that long, but it takes a good, 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we're just in a pinch, and it's like we just want it now. So it's like, well, let's see if there's rice, and it's like, oh yeah, frozen rice. You don't have to, we can cook it.
That's nice. Yeah, but it's also just it's perfect every time. That's what I love about the Instant Pot brown rice.
Yeah.
It's just perfect every time. I can't get it perfect on the stovetop, but
yeah, I'm not good with the stove with rice because then I never know if it's done, and then I take it off, and it's then it's like now I let all the steam out, now I'm putting it back on. It's like, should I add a little bit more water? I don't know. It's never good. That Instant Pot just makes it so easy. It's just put it in. When it's done, you open it up, and it's right. It's perfect.
And it's rice. It's perfect rice. Yeah. So that's on the website. If you have an Instant Pot, do that or make frozen.
Or make frozen. The slaw, the spicy peanut slaw.
So we have a couple of spicy dishes going on here. This one is our spicy peanut sauce, which is so good. So basically it's just a slaw with a bunch of cabbage. And we're using Chinese or Napa cabbage, which is that, Napa cabbage, it's like thinner. It's like whitish, light green, I should say. And it's what would you call it? Not thinner, but it's lighter, I guess. It's lighter than green cabbage. And it makes this really nice and light. And then we have red cabbage in it and carrots and green onions and a bell pepper. And I like it like really shredded. So I try to just shred it with a knife, try to cut the cabbage really thin, try to cut the pepper thin. I do the carrots on a grater, like a box grater. They come out really nice for coleslaws and stuff that way. And then there's a jalapeno in it. There's nothing fancy about it. Again, another really easy one. You just make the peanut sauce first. And it has a bunch of the same old things in it, which are so super delicious, like ginger. This one has lime, tamari, garlic, peanut butter. If you can grind your own, find that type of peanut butter because it's just peanut. Oh, my ears are falling off. It's just peanuts. So I grind my own. Frank does it. Actually, I haven't done it in a while, but so that's just peanuts. And look at that. I mean, come on. We toss on roasted peanuts at the end for some crunch. Roasted chopped peanuts. There's no oil in those peanuts. They're just peanuts and toasted sesame seeds and a squirt of lime. If you like peanut, which Shannon does.
She sure does.
Crunchy and it's crisp. Oh, the one key thing about this, make sure all your cabbage and all your veggies are dry because when it sits in the fridge, you want to chill this for an hour before you eat it, at least an hour. It just marinates and gets better and better. But it also creates juice. So it might look dry when you first make it. It's like the sauce is sort of a thicker sauce. It's not real runny at all. But I mean, it's a sauce. It's not like a thick paste or anything. And then when you pour it, you just make the sauce, pour it over all of your veggies and make sure you toss it really, really well. Don't add the peanuts or the toppings yet. Put it in the fridge, and then after an hour, you'll be surprised. There's like a lot of juice, and then mix it all up again. It gets really nice and juicy because those veggies release their juices. So just make sure they're dry so they're not super watery. And then before you serve it, just toss on your peanuts, your green onions, sesame seeds, and it is really, really good. Really delicious. It's like a great side dish to any of our barbecue dishes or anything really. Sandwiches. We just have it on the side with whatever we're eating.
You can have it on Even like on a barbecue sandwich, you make like an Asian barbecue sandwich.
Oh, that's what Frank would do. He would put it on his sandwich.
Yeah, that's what I do too. That's why I like it.
Super crunchy. Yeah, it's really good.
And the Brussels.
Oh, this is our last one. I mean, Brussels sprouts, I think most people like them. My daughter loves them now. I know.
They get a bad rap.
I did a couple of versions of these. This is my favorite version because I tried using tahini, which is like would be your version, because I thought like I really, really do love Brussels sprouts with olive oil, just a touch and roasted. And we don't cook with olive oil, but I will once in a while have them with olive oil. Like if I order out in a restaurant, they're really, really good, usually too much oil, but I can't really get what I'm looking for without oil. So I thought tahini, which I think I'm going to play around with that some more. I did do a couple of versions of these with tahini, and I don't know, they tasted really smoky to me. Maybe I used too much, and then I was going to do a few more of those. But I tried almond butter, and it was so good because that stuff is so silky and smooth. And I'm looking to do things with it because we have a few recipes with it, and that stuff stays good forever in your cupboard. But I had some in there, so I tried it, and it was really nice. It's really smooth, and it gives you that little bit of oil. I mean, look at how roasty those look. They almost look like they have oil on them. They don't. It's just a little bit of almond butter, maple syrup, some molasses for that stickiness. Oh, and then I used a little bit of Chinese 5-spice powder, which is just, if you haven't, we have it in some of our recipes. Another reason to use that. It's nice to use our stuff. If you spend money on it, we keep saying we're going to use this stuff. So yeah, it just gives it such a nice, like Asian-y vibe. It's really, really good. It's sweet, it's spicy, it has those Asian flavors. And they came out great. And now I have to do a version with tahini so my daughter can eat them. And she loves Brussels sprouts. So I tried, but she can't have these because of the almond butter. But we inhaled them. They're so good. And if you're going to make these, I would say this is just for 2 people or even 1 person. I could eat the whole thing myself. But if you're going to make them for like 3 or 4 people, just double the recipe. That's £1 pound, but it cooks down. So it's just like a little bowl like this. So I would maybe double the recipe because you want leftovers. You want a little bit more if there's more than just 1 or 2 of you. But yeah, so we roast them first in the oven, and that's what gets them nice and crispy. So we make a little sauce, coat them, roast them for I think 30 minutes, and then after that we make a quick little sweet chili glaze. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Just with garlic chili sauce and maple syrup. So we've used that sambal oelek. Is that how you say it? Before. You can find that one. We've used it in other recipes. It's just garlic and chilies and vinegar. There's no oil, there's no sugar, and you can find it in the Asian international section at most grocery stores. I have it in my fridge all the time, but I found this new one, and it was just garlic chili sauce, same ingredients. So either one, it's really easy to find, and I love that it's just another, I just put it on whenever I'm making like rice and like my own little stir fries that I make up. I always put a big olive on that, or like in soup, like I'd probably put it in our other soup. I think I might have done that. Just like you use sriracha or I did it again. Sriracha. Sriracha and seitan. I just coat my food in that stuff because it's so good. And I love that it's just chilies and garlic and vinegar. So use it freely. And that's our sauce mixed with, or our glaze. I called that the glaze because the sauce goes first before you roast them. And then you make that quick glaze, the chili sauce mixed with maple syrup. And then you just whip it together, and it gives it such a nice, sweet, spicy taste at the end.
Yum.
Delish.
Nice
another appetizer or side dish.
Yeah, those things are good.
Yep. My ears are falling off.
All right.
So that's it.
that's it for today.
It looks like people are excited about them, so I really hope that we start seeing some of these this week. 11 people liked it. Yahoo!
There are some new Asian dishes that I got on the burner as well. I mean, I love it. I love experimenting with it just because.
Yeah.
I don't know. It almost seems like there's just so much that good can happen. Just like I don't. It's almost like you can't go wrong sometimes with some of these dishes. But yeah, just making them different and making whatever. Just again, I do a lot of just research on what's out there. What dishes have I had? Dishes that just sound good. But yeah, and I know, like, when we try to do these dishes, this isn't part of our heritage. We haven't been making some of these things for years. Some of them we're either making it up on the fly, or we're doing some research and finding dishes that people have already made and then just kind of making them our own. Some of these I've never had before. I know someone just gave me some feedback, just saying, hey, this, you guys made this, it tastes great, but it doesn't taste authentic. And it's like, all right, but I wasn't, I don't even know what the authentic tastes like because I've never had it. And exactly. Or whatever it is, like I wouldn't be able to compare it anyway.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we only had Mom used to make chop suey with the beef, right? That's the only Asian dish she made herself.
Right. That's like an American dish, like
right?
That's not
chop suey.
The same thing. Like people come to like, oh, what is this? It's like American dish. But I compared everything with like that because that's what I had. So if I went and got a restaurant and had chop suey, it's like this doesn't taste like chop suey to me. It's not how my mom makes it. So again, when you compare, and that's what I had told one of the meal planners who contacted me, I said we try not to compare everything too. I try to have things on its own merit, and I welcome the feedback. I don't get offended or whatever.
No.
I come right out and tell people. I mean, especially if it's something I've never even had. It's like, man, that looks good. I'd like to try to recreate that. Again, there's no way for me to compare to any kind of original or authentic.
Never had it, right?
Right, but in the end, it comes out. If it comes out and tastes horrible, it's not like I put it out and say, "Well, I tried." It's like we want to make sure it tastes delicious, and if it tastes delicious, if it doesn't taste super authentic,
exactly.
That's what you can do, right?
But that's why I research all of them, especially if they're different things that I've not had. I love all that stuff. Like, I don't know, you read it, what I wrote about teriyaki. I think I wrote that in the intro. Teri means, is it shine? Yeah, teri means shine, and yaki means grill in Japanese. That's just cool. Shine grill, because when they would grill fish, the fish looked really shiny. So they just started, that's how it came about. That's how teriyaki came about. That's so cool. I just love that. I love those little stories. And then most people think it was from Japan. Like I read, like I researched it, and it's like, no, it really, I don't know if it's right, but from what I've learned, it's from Hawaii, like Japanese immigrants in Hawaii. So it started in Hawaii, Japanese people, but I like knowing those little tidbits. So I really do try to get a sense of these new dishes, and like, I try, but
of course.
If you never made them before, I mean, I've had teriyaki and, growing up in restaurants, we didn't make it.
We have some here. My son likes it. I put it on occasionally, just put it on some rice or throw it in a splash of it here and there.
Yeah, it's yummy. Now you can make your own.
I can make my own.
Yeah, but I do love that too, like about Asian food. You're right. And just with cooking this way, once you get a feel for how to use these different flavors, that's why I was saying earlier, it's like the same stuff. And that's what we do. We use like all the same things. We're using tahini and garlic and onions and molasses and lime juice and miso and, the spices that we introduced to you guys, and we're trying to use them again. And you get so used to it that, once you make Brussels sprouts this way and you see, I roast them first and then I add the glaze. Well, now you know that. So now you learn that. So it's like, what else can I do? And like Phil said, when you make this soup, you'll see how you, how you can make the noodles here and then make the soup. And then you're like, maybe I can throw in, I can see that bok choy cooks in 20 minutes in the soup. So you learn that. What else can I throw in, So that's all part of it too. It's exactly what we do. But it's really fun to learn because it's just making you a better plant-based cook,
Mm-hmm. All right.
There's that.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I gotta get to Target. I got a concert to get to.
All righty, we'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope everyone has a great weekend and cook some good food. And
Have fun at your party.
have fun at your concert. And I will see
Tomorrow.
you tomorrow night.
My birthday party. Woo-hoo.
Yes. All right.